Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we have a little update from Warner Brothers on Justice League Dark. Well, I wouldn't really call it an update. It's the lack of updates that's really the story. Now, recently, The Hollywood Reporter was talking a little bit about Warner Brothers' new CEO, David Zaslav. And if you're paying attention, he has been taking an axe to a lot of projects that cost a lot of money. Now, apparently the executive team over at Warner Brothers Discovery is becoming very frustrated with one particular project, and that would be J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot's failure to deliver pretty much anything on that massive $250 million deal that they signed a few years ago. Now, in case you don't remember, Bad Robot, along with J.J. Abrams, signed a big deal with Warner Brothers that was supposed to bring a lot of new content to HBO Max and the big screen, specifically DC content. Now, we do know he is producing a Superman movie along with Takeshi Coates that'll feature a black lead along with a slate of TV shows that are supposed to eventually see them combine into Justice League Dark. But we really had no manifestation of any projects. Now, what The Hollywood Reporter is saying is that Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav is exceptionally frustrated by the lack of output from Bad Robot with this $250 million deal. Now, one of the shows that he has pushed out there was one named Demi-Monde, but it's already on the verge of being scrapped because it actually had a $200 million budget. And this is a series, and that's a bigger budget than the Game of Thrones sequel House of Dragons. If you've noticed, he's a bit of a penny pincher, and he's not likely to approve that project. Now, apparently the team has delivered scripts for pilots, though, for Constantine and Madam X, which sounds pretty great, but none of it has actually moved forward. Apparently, some of the frustration is built around the fact that these characters are now restricted from other projects, and since they're not delivering anything, it means they're not being used, which means DC's not making any money off of them, and this is where Zaslav has his problem. Now keep in mind, DC Films has a long history of announcing projects and then them going nowhere. Over the last couple of years, there's been probably a dozen projects that we've heard Warner Brothers announce, attach somebody to the project, and then it completely disappear from reality. This has generated a lot of fan frustration and skepticism, so I'm very hopeful this attitude from Zaslav and the leadership at Warner Brothers will help curb that in the future. Honestly, there's nothing worse than disappointing fans by promising one thing and then making it just simply disappear, pretending like it never happened. Now, I'm going to have to be really blunt here. A lot of fans were super disappointed about Abrams being brought into this project, and quite honestly being so involved with future DC plans. There were a lot of people that were very disappointed about the work over on Star Wars, and after what's perceived as somewhat of a fan disappointment there's a lot of people that just simply don't want him working on their favorite DC character. Fans are pretty possessive of their favorite character, and I totally get why they're feeling this way. Now, obviously, we're going to have to wait a couple of months more before we find out what happens here. I'm going to be frank, I would not be surprised if Zaslav actually drops Abrams altogether, along with every single project he's working on. This would mean Constantine, this would mean Madam X, Zatanna, and even Takeshi Coates' Superman project. But until we get more news, what do you guys think? How do you feel about J.J. Abrams' lack of delivery on the DC properties that we've been hearing about for several years now? And do you think the high price of that contract could play into Zaslav dropping the producer and Bad Robot altogether? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.